this oath unviolated, may it be granted to me to enjoy life and the practice of the art, respected by all men and in all times. But should I trespass and violate this oath, may the reverse be my lot. Please be seated. And now it is my pleasure to introduce someone who we all know and love, a man whose kindness and dedication to his fellow classmates permeate his every interaction, a student who has served as default liaison to 21st century technology for virtually every student club, organization, and Friday night get-together since first-year orientation, a friend whose wit and acquired wisdom are only perhaps eclipsed by the elderly patients he intends to treat, a dreamer whose beloved Cleveland Browns will indeed one day achieve Super Bowl defeat. Please allow me the privilege and honor of welcoming the class of 2013 elected student speaker, Dr. Kenneth Koncilja.
Thank you, Clint. So yesterday, I went to the UT bookstore to pick up the gown for my putter, my mentor, Dr. Koncilja, and I saw Dr. Steve Bohins about to purchase a blue gown for today's ceremony. I asked him why he's buying a blue gown. His response, I like the color. I say, you can't just pick out whatever color you want. He's wearing green today. And good to see everybody else made it here today and wearing the correct regalia. On behalf of my classmates in the class of 2013, I want to welcome everyone and thank you all for making it here today. Cleaning and moving, packing and boxing. It's time to get settled in with a fresh start. I think these words define much of our recent time. Even if you did an international rotation in a fun place like Xi'an did, Dr. Xi'an in China, and Dr. Stacy Snyder in Ethiopia. Or you just got married like the new Drs. Griffith and Drs. Pfeiffer. Or you are raising an amazing child like the Dr. Farhad Aziz and Dr. Samia Seklain. But for the rest of us, moving and packing has defined our recent time. So I'm in my room the other day going through my bookshelf, trying to figure out which things I'm going to keep and what I'm going to throw out. I found our binder from orientation in August of 2009, 4 years ago. Now I get distracted very easily, especially with something book-like. At the very end, in Appendix D, I found the University of Toledo College of Medicine Educational Program Objectives. I told Dr. Kara Ganser about my newfound inspiration, and she laughed, saying she had never read or seen those before. But then John Self was quick to point out that he knows all of these from memory, and he doesn't even go here. That's a Mean Girls quote. There are 4 learning objectives, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to reflect on the past 4 years, witness your own growth into a physician, review your struggles, and come up with a New Year's resolution about the incredible task we have awaiting us in residency. So objective number 1, a UTCOM graduate physician will be knowledgeable. Knowledge. I think we did that pretty well, as evidenced by everybody wearing all these fancy green gowns. And this group looks pretty good. Think of all those lectures in first and second year, the late night sessions in anatomy lab, precise taggings by Dr. Matt Del Maro, the anatomy all-nighter pulled by Drs. Marco Tatangelo, J. Swathirajan, and Dr. Sean Kelleher, highlighted by 3 a.m. Taco Bell runs. I remember Dr. Sam Adams practically lived in the anatomy lab. I wouldn't be surprised if he had slept there. Remember the library and how Dr. Patrick Irwin spent the most time there, but got the least amount done. Think of yourself and where you studied best. Think of the boards, all the anxiety that came with that. And now think of your competence, the medical knowledge you've gained over 4 years. What an experience to access that body of knowledge in such a short amount of time. Objective number 2, a UTCOM graduate physician will be skilled. Well, this second educational objective is about the nuts and bolts of medicine. Can you do the work? On my very first third-year rotation in Tiffin, Ohio, a scrub nurse told me, "You've probably read a lot in books, but get ready for the real McCoy." And she did not break into a 90s song and dance. She was bracing us for the rest of our medical lives. Real people, real problems, problems that don't always go away. Tough love, death, dying, everything all rolled up into one. Skill and knowledge worked hand in hand to get us through those points in medical school and will continue throughout our careers. Objective number 3, a UTCOM graduate physician will be professional. People love this word nowadays, professional. But what is kept under this umbrella of a word? It can't possibly mean just professional dress, because we can't all dress as sharp as Dr. Gary Martinovsky and Dr. Michael Harstad. In that orientation binder in 2009, there's a definition for professionalism. Ethical, responsible, reliable, and dependable behavior in all aspects of their professional lives, and a commitment to patients, society, and the profession. Now I'm adding a 4th educational objective. And many of you know how much I hate change and breaking with tradition. I don't even like the designated hitter in baseball. Our last lesson from UTCOM is this last objective. I'm sure they'll add it to all subsequent objective sheets. A UTCOM graduate physician will be compassionate. In her writings from her hospital in Kolkata, India, Mother Teresa once said, "The hunger for love is much more difficult to remove than the hunger for bread." Loneliness and isolation are the most difficult diseases to cure. I think these things supersede all the other educational objectives. Compassion, for you spelling bee types, Jay, is derived from the words to suffer with. So we talk about compassion for our patients, but unless we try and mentally put ourselves in our patients' shoes, not just to feel sorry for them, but to suffer with them, to feel their pain, to experience their stress, to know their frustration, to share their loss, then we are not truly sharing a relationship with our patients. Lessons from our classmates, Dr. Shweta Pai, Dr. Victor Parker III, Dr. Ellen Klink, Dr. Victor Kapoor, and countless other kids sitting on this stage today who selflessly have given time and talent to show us how to be vulnerable. Dr. Andrew Gibby, Dr. Jillian Krause, Dr. Michael Bold, they're saying to themselves right now, "Hey, we're radiologists. What kind of place will compassion have in my future?" Well, that's easy. When these fine doctors are looking at films, always remember a real person once stood in front of that film and is waiting desperately for your read. When Dr. Stephen Smith has a slide in the basement of a Columbus Hospital pathology department, he will know that the reading of that slide is important to a real person. So compassion touches us all, every day. I'm going to turn around and address my class. Caitlin Richter gave me this idea last night. And these are nice flowers, actually, but kind of in the way. Seniors, we started this journey together on a similar stage 4 years ago, and a lot has changed in that time. We were wide-eyed, anxious, nervous, but we have found heroes among us on this stage, in each other, and in Dr. Amy Litzinger, our classmate, who taught us to support each other, to make good choices, because the choices you make you. The greatest lessons we have learned are about overcoming adversity, obstacles we could have never fathomed back in August of 2009. But in these lessons, your heroes in your class serve as a reminder of who we aspire to be. Not everyone becomes a physician, but almost everyone has an experience as a patient. We've learned that medicine is not about us, the doctors, it's all about the patient. I'll come back around. And I would also be remiss in neglecting to mention another group of heroes, our faculty mentors, especially our late clinician attending, Dr. Olarandu, beloved by his students as a real mensch, an honorable man who demonstrated love and dedication to both patients and students. Between the role models sitting on this stage, the role models in the audience today, and those role models looking down on us, I think we all have sources of inspiration to emulate. Things are about to get epic for us graduates. Residency will be hard work. You're not going to have time to reread UT educational objectives. So know when we are going through our work, our busy schedules, our chaotic work-home balance, remember that most important educational objective, compassion and love. We must never lose that compassion we see today. Always find a place to love your patients and love the practice of medicine. Thank you.
Dr. Koncilja, for your inspiring words for all of us. Now I know that I am the last thing between the opportunity for our graduates and their families to